Hi folks, Mark Atchison here, and welcome to my winter video series. Now, whenever I'm talking to my students about their hopes, dreams, and desires for their games, aside from wanting to hit the golf ball further, every single one wants to be more consistent. Now, that's a pretty broad request, but what I think you're asking for is to get rid of those silly mistakes and mishits and simply learn how to control your golf ball. Now, in order to do that, we must first learn how to control the club face, for the golf ball only does what the club face tells it to. And that's why I'm so excited to be putting out a weekly video tip that will help you to learn and master those key concepts and fundamental skills that you need to know in order to play that consistent golf you're looking for. So through easy to understand instruction and creative drills, you'll be able to take advantage of the off season and work on these skills in the comfort of your own home, so you'll be ready to hit the ground running come spring. Now, don't let the sun fool you. It's not very warm out here. So let's get back inside. We've got work to do. Hi there, Mark here again, and for our first session we're going to be focusing our attention on the fundamental skills of center contact and square contact as it relates to our putting. Now, I know that's not as flashy as guaranteeing you an extra 25 yards off the tee, but I can assure you mastering these two skills are critical to the success of every shot we play. And just as I said in the opening, the golf ball only knows what the club face tells it, but it doesn't know if it's being struck by a putter, a wedge, an iron, or a wood. So I find any time that we're working on a new skill, it's always best to do so in the shortest and slowest motion first. And once we're comfortable with it, we can always add length and speed to it later. So if you're ready to head down that road to become a more consistent golfer, let's go ahead and grab our putters and get to work. So before we dive into the fundamental skills of center contact and square contact, we need to take a moment to look at our setup as it relates to our posture, grip, and ball position, since a lot of our inconsistencies can stem from poor pre-shot fundamentals. So with your feet shoulder width apart, I want all of you to tilt at the hips and place your hands on your knees. What this is going to do is not only aim our chest to the ground, but if you put the club across your shoulders and start to rotate that, it's also going to start to relate our shoulder rotation to that point on the ground where the ball would sit. The reason this is important is our shoulders are designed to rotate perpendicular to our spine, much like a merry-go-round. So for us to relate this motion to the ground, the easiest way to do that is to tilt our hips down. And now we've effectively taken that merry-go-round motion and turned it into a swing set motion. And if we're looking at a golf swing, probably the best image to connect it to would be a swing set. And when you look at a swing swinging back and forth, it's going basically straight back and straight through. And if we can get that nice vertical motion in place, our ability to consistently run the center of our club face into the golf ball and relate it to our target line is going to be much easier. From there, when you're looking at really good putters, you're going to notice that the shaft runs straight up their arms, forming a straight line, and then that straight line is going to be perpendicular to their spine angle. It's not 90 degrees, but definitely extended out. And in order to do that, we need to change our grip for our putting stroke. When you're looking at a full swing, from down the line, you're going to see the arms hanging down, and then the shaft angles out. The reason is that with a full swing grip, the grip runs across the fingers, and that helps to create this 90-degree angle. For a putting stroke, we want to get the grip running up our arm. So to do that, it needs to run through our palm. So if you took the club and hold it in a horizontal fashion, as I have it here, and reach out and grab onto it, by instinct, you're going to hang on to it through the palm, and that's going to line the shaft straight up your arm. So if you are a conventional putter or a cross-handed putter, take your top hand and grab onto it, get that positioned first, and then swing your other hand in. And at this point, you want to see both arms in the shaft. You want that shaft running right up them. Now, if we're looking face on, there's an important idea here I want you to make sure you have in place, and that is connection between your inner arm and your inner chest. The opposite would be arms and elbows extended away. And I do see a number of you in this position. I think in your mind, you think if you get really rigid with this position, you'll be able to force or hold it on line. What happens here is it actually creates in that disconnection a lot of inconsistency with our arms. We can push the club away from us, we can pull it across. So once our arms and hands are in this position relative to the shaft, I want you to simply drop your arms down. And a good thing to kind of help you with that is to grab a couple of gloves or a similar set of items and hold them. Don't squeeze them, but just hold them. So again, tilt at the hips, lower down, and we're going to create that connection. Limit how much your wrists work and just simply feel your shoulders rotating or rocking and moving that whole unit back and forth. Isolate the motion to your shoulders. If you see my knees aren't moving very much, from this line again, body's not moving very much, and what I've created is a very consistent motion back and forth of the club head. Not a lot of excessive motion. So with the gloves under my arms, if I did create any separation, they're going to fall out. Again, that's going to lead to inconsistent contact with the club face. At that point, we need to look at ball position. And when I say ball position, what I want us to focus in on is how our eyes relate to the ball relative to our target line. And to help us with that, I want you to grab a mirror. In this case, this is specific to putting. It's got a notch for the ball and a line to give us a point of reference to where our eyes sit. You could take an old DVD or CD, flip it upside down with the shiny side up so we got a nice mirror finish, or even just a simple hand mirror. Set it on the ground, and you're going to position the golf ball in a spot where I can simply take the changes to our setup, get our good grip, and tilt at the hips, and then leaning over, I can now simply move the entire machine forward until I see that my eyes are directly in line with the center of the golf ball. This is important so that what my eyes see and what my brain senses are the same. If my eyes are too far out, my brain is going to make an adjustment and create an out to in stroke to try to match the line. If my eyes are too far to the inside, the opposite happens. To me, it's like the idea of if I was going to shoot a gun or be playing pool, my eye line and my target line are right on top of each other. So by getting us into this position, our brain quiets down and the lines match. As far as left to right, we want that golf ball sitting right underneath your lead eye, in the case of a right-hander, your left eye, so you're able to catch it just on the upswing as you pass the center or the bottom of your arc. Making these changes to our posture, our grip, and our ball position, we have all the makings to be able to create a very repeatable and consistent stroke. And then we are ready to apply the first fundamental skill of center contact.